Hi, my name is Andy Højholdt and I am a senior lecturer at Metropolitan University College in Copenhagen. And I have been doing some research on interprofessionalism, and I also have been written some books about it. And I would like to make just a short, as a beginning, a short presentation of the whole concept interprofessionalism. You can say that interprofessionalism is related to innovation in that way that innovation is always that's a concept of development. And actually, I see interprofessionalism and interprofessional collaboration in somehow the same way, but it's a concept that's related to innovation. But it's not quite the same as innovation. When we talk about interprofessionalism, we're talking about different kind of professions. They're working together. They are doing the same together. They are they're working as a group, as a team, with the same goal. And what we hope will happen there is that when they are working together, when you are working together with your colleagues who are from other professions, we are hoping that you will learn while you are while you're doing collaboration. When you're working together, we hope that you will learn from each other, and we hope that when you're working together, you will be able to innovate even more than when you're working together with the people from your own professions. And maybe that will not happen, but maybe it will. You can say that one of the things that is lying underneath the whole concept of interprofessionalism is that it's a theory, you can say, that highlights that when you are a profession, you have a specific knowledge, and you have a specific you've been going through specific courses, and from your study you are bringing with you a specific knowledge related to your own profession and the task that you are supposed to be able to carry out, you can say. When we think that and also can see in practice that professions can actually learn from each other, is that when we put together different professions with different kind of knowledge, that been doing different kind of courses, and who are able to carry out different ways of working with in relation to the group of people they are working with, or the task that they should be able to solve, they will be able to learn from each other, because it's like two stones of knowledge, you can say, clashing to each other, and then something might appear. If it was just two persons who did not have specific knowledge meeting each other, I don't think that the interprofessionalism actually will develop anything, so that the whole theory underlying interprofessionalism is that when we bring together different kind of professions, we also bring together different kinds of experts who have different kind of knowledge, who have a certain way of working, and if you mix that up and they are involved in the collaboration with an open mind and to some extent also are working with their ability of focusing on the situations where we do not agree, actually. Sometimes we think of collaboration and good cooperation as situations when we're working together and there's no conflicts. We agree with each other. That's good. But sometimes when we are brought together and supposed to work together as professions, we do not agree, and that can be actually a resource to learning, you can say, because if you do not agree, if you see something different, and if you have different perspectives and perceptions of the world, then when we put together different kind of perspectives and perceptions and knowledge, we will actually be able to, if we are good, we will be able to learn from each other. as professions, and that's the whole theory about it, and that's the whole thing about it. And that means that it's always good. You know, you have to agree to some extent, but you also have to be able to, in good interprofessionalism, to learn from each other's different perspectives, from different knowledge, and in situations where you do not actually agree. It is, I think, interprofessionalism. It is a concept of how to learn in practice among professions. That's the way I like to think of it. But it, of course, it is something that involves you and the professions, and they should be able to actually live with, live in and live with disagreement, and live with and in situations where it is not always you can say nice to be there sometimes. You have to agree, of course, you have to be able to work, to communicate, to relate to each other, but you also have to, on the other hand, to find the different ways of working that we might have, different ways of learning, different ways of seeing our situation. One of the main things that makes innovation and interprofessionalism relevant today is that we cannot find a job where it's not demanded of the professions that they should be able to develop together. It is something that every government and every community, every county, every state has a program for. So the people who are supposed to employ the professions, they are demanding interprofessional skills of the professions. You should actually be able to. You will be asked how. You'll be asked, and you will be put in situations where you should be able to actually collaborate with other professions and with colleagues in general. And that's not just something that people are making up because they think it could be fun to do. It's because we have many of the solutions that we are looking for today, if it is environment or social sector or learning in the schools or hospitals or whatever, they need a lot of these problems that we are trying to find solutions for. They need different kind of professionals. We see today a lot of environmental problems. We see a lot of social problems. We see, and they are demanding. If we should solve these problems, we need interprofessional skills and we need interprofessional development. No doubt about that. So it is relevant today in the teaching context as this one, or in a study context, because it is something that every government and every state or local county, they have a program for. They are focusing on it in the social sector, in the educational sector, on the market, or wherever. And that's one of the reasons why it's very relevant during the study, and how it is also, you can say, very much related to the innovation of the public sector and the private sector. One of the things that you should, or you could try to ask yourself when you are working together as different professions is that is three questions, I think. One is, do we actually learn something here from each other? And what is that? And how do the situations, in which situation do we actually learn from each other? And to the next extent, are we actually, when we are working together, are we able to solving problems together as we could not solve by ourselves? If we cannot, if we are not able to solve problems better when we are working together among the different professions, maybe we should not work together. because it is actually also collaboration is always something that can be very expensive to do, because we have to have more meetings, we have to spend time developing together, but we really should think very much about are we actually able to solving new tasks, are we learning something from each other. That's two main parts. And for the second, for the third, I think that what is something that gives energy always into the collaboration among professionals is that we actually are able to highlight our success. We are here professions to solve problems or deliver services to or to develop new things, and we need to have clear goals of our collaborations, and we need to have clear objectives. We need to be able to find where we actually are doing results, and we need to. So that means, I think that every good collaboration needs to have a method of evaluation closely related to the working when you're working together. It needs to be clear to all of the participants that what is actually the goal of our collaboration, and what is how can we actually know if we have a success or not. So you need to have specific signs, you can say, on success. Signs of success, you can say. That will bring energy back to you, because then you're for yourself you're able to see, okay, we did actually solve new problems, or we are far away from our goals that we have put up signs for. So then we need to work together in new ways.